Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So in this video, it's something a little bit different. Basically, what I'm trying to do is to promote a little bit of a debate and a discussion in the comments down below. So what am I talking about? Over the last sort of week or so, Sunderland have promoted a new sort of retro kit that we have seen in the past, and I think it looks smart as anything. I will bring up a picture now. I think Patrick Roberts is donning this retro themed kit, and of course whenever a retro themed kit is brought up into discussion and into the social media aspect of life, there's always a huge debate as to whether this type of kit is better, the retro style. And what has come up massively over the last week or so has been, do we prefer the current Sunderland badge, being this one I've got on here, or these retro ones? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to give my sort of points for both and my understanding of both. So of course the one that we do see here, this has, okay, it's a little bit slightly different of course because it is embroidered a bit differently, but this general logo, it's been with the club since 1997 onwards, and that is just around the time when I was becoming a Sunderland fan. So personally, this is the only badge I have lived with. I've supported the club throughout its time with this badge, so it means of course an awful lot to me. But within that time, I have seen so many downwards and so many downward spirals in this club. Of course I've seen plenty of ups, but there's been so many downs as well, and I feel like as of recently we're kind of turning a corner towards a new sort of era of the club. Of course this isn't the oldest badge in the world. In fact, it's one of the newer badges really, I guess, in the whole context of things, of, you know, the League of 72. I know that a lot of teams do change their badges every now and then. Particularly recently they have done. A lot of teams have updated their badges to look a little bit more modern, particularly a bit more stylish, so they can sell more kits and what have you. I understand that, or something that maybe just represents the club a little bit better than what it already does. So I understand when teams do change the badges on of their club, but it doesn't mean a lot. It means a lot. It can't just be changed just purely for style's sake. But of course with these older badges, you do have of course, like I said, the one we have currently is from 1997 to present, and before that you had two different versions of essentially the same. You had the one from 1977 to 1991, which it had the blue at the top, of course, with the ships should I say, at the top, of course massively representing Sunderland, and the 1991 to 1997 had the black, same exact logo, but black at the top, of course, again representing Sunderland. But the ones on these retro kits is ever so slightly different, ever so slightly. If you can see, if you have a look at this one, it has the black at the top where the ship is, but the badge, the AFC badge, is actually white, and I think that looks absolutely fantastic, and it is actually a marginal improvement on the older badges that we do see here. Of course, I do respect these badges massively. Again, I can't relate as much because I wasn't around and supporting the club when those were more of course in our faces, only were being worn. I know that a lot of these kits and these badges, they will associate themselves with differently for different people. Like, you know, the blue one, you know, I'd immediately associate it with like the Gary Bennett and like that's the one that sticks up for me. But you know, a lot of maybe older fans, it resonates a lot differently, and those times marry a lot differently to them. Whereas this badge, I've seen it online, they might say it's a little bit more stylish, or it's a little bit more modern, or at least it was. But they didn't have that attachment that they did to the old kits, which of course there's some brilliant times before I was a Sunderland fan. Some bad times of course as well. But you have a look at those kits, and even now, if we're going to look at it from a sort of fashion standpoint, the retro is basically in fashion right now, and it has been over the last 2 or 3 years, and it's something that we probably could have forced our way into that sort of market a little bit more, I think. And I think this kit could easily be the one that we have been seeing Sunderland promoting a little bit, with this sort of retro style. I don't know whether it's just going to be a one-off, but if we keep on putting out kits like this, I think it will make the younger generation more in favour of this. And I have seen it online on the likes of X, Twitter, Instagram, and places like that, that a lot of younger fans are turning towards these sort of older badges. So for me personally, if you're looking for my opinion, I hate to sit on the fence, and I'm not going to. I love the current badge. because it was a badge that I first came, to the club when I was first started supporting the club when I was 10-year-old, and I was in love with the club, and that's when the badge, it was kind of pretty much just around the time the badge was established. And there's many times that, of course, I fell in love with the club with this badge on the chest. Almost the majority or the entirety of my kit collection, which is stupidly large for a fully grown man, but the majority do don this badge. But when I do look, and I love looking through the historic moments with Sunderland for many years ago, and they have that badge on, I think it represents a lot more for the club, of course, with the shipyards, and it also has that stylish factor now, like I said, with as retro is coming more into a modern day, it actually looks more modern than our newer badge, if that makes sense. As I've kind of alluded to in the thumbnail, it's sort of like an out with the old, in with the old type thing, which is a strange one, but it does work, and I think I would be very happy. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Maybe hasn't even been a discussion with the board or anything like that. There probably hasn't at all. But it has been so prevalent online. So many people are doing poll charts to see what people think. I would be very happy to see the badge that we've seen there put onto a Sunderland kit, an official Sunderland kit, even if they just did it as like an anniversary for something, or I don't know, maybe a one-off for a scene to try it out. I think there's a lot more to work with that badge, and I absolutely adore that badge and what it means for Sunderland, not just as a club, but as a place in itself. I think it just resonates a lot more. And I love that badge. I absolutely love that badge. So for me, I'm going to stop rambling on. My points are essentially, as I say, I can understand why some people would want this badge. I can understand that. It's what they were born with. A lot of the younger generation didn't know nothing but that. But I can see the younger generation falling for this style. And I'm exactly the same. I'm not saying I'm a younger fan. I'm 31 now, but yeah, I'm absolutely all for it. So I'd happily go back to that retro style badge, 1000%. So anyway, as I say, that's all this video was, to invoke a little bit of a discussion in the comments. I'd go for the old one. I think it's beautiful. It'd be sad to see this one go, but like I said, I feel like we're heading towards a new generation, a new era of Sunderland Football Club, Sunderland Association Football Club. I'd go for it. I'd absolutely go for it. But again, like I say, let me know in the comments down below. Let's start an argument. Let's see what happens down there. But again, leave all your comments down below. But if you've enjoyed, hit the like button for me. It'd be massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already, to become a fully fledged member of the SUNDERLAND army. But for now, take care and stay jammy.